Hi, I'm Cher Cunningham. Welcome to your networking elevator pitch. What's the point? Realistically, when we start networking, sometimes we kind of hold back a little bit. We don't share everything that we want to say. We might be a little shy, afraid of being too forward. So what is the ultimate formula that you can comfortably use to be able to share your business in a way that makes people say, "Oh, really? Tell me more." In essence, how do you start the conversation and book a meeting with them? Because really, that's the goal. So welcome to this very short mini course to give you a taste of how you can transform the way you show up in your business through deliberate, assertive, confident communications. And hopefully you'll reach out to find out how you can do some more at chercunningham.com. So welcome. This is going to be fun and provide a quick win that will change your networking results instantly. I do a lot of coaching and training around sales. Sales confidence, sales goals, sales techniques. And a place I love to start is at the elevator pitch, because it's one of the smallest sales conversations that you ever have. Sometimes a lot smaller than you want them to be. Your elevator pitch is a 30 to 60 second introduction. It's based on the premise that if you stepped onto the elevator on maybe the 20th floor and your ideal client was in there, and you were both heading for the lobby, what could you say to intrigue that person so that you could book a conversation with them in that tiny little amount of time? If you really want to get the full benefit of this mini course, pause the video now, really, and write down your current elevator pitch or infomercial or introduction, whatever you want to call it. If somebody came up to you and said, "Hi, I'm Cher. What do you do?" What would your current response be? Now, I don't want you to write something new. I want you to think back to when this really has happened and write down what you would typically say. Pause now. Welcome back. I hope you did that. Here's the secret. You're not trying to have that potential client or referral partner drink from a fire hose. You're not trying to tell them everything, and sometimes that's a challenge. You're not trying to sell them anything either. You're not trying to open or close a sale. That's not the point. The point is to get them to ask you for more details, more time with you. So your job is to pique their interest, make them curious, and fire up their imagination. Every time you meet someone, you have an opportunity to skim the surface or to go deeper. We have all been to those events, whether it's a BNI meeting or a Business After 5, a Women's Business Association, or some other group. The networking begins and it feels a little bit like bumper cars. Right? You wander in this direction, get a couple of names, a couple of business cards, look around for somebody else who looks to be open, and then you wander over there, moving on from group to group. Or you might sit and hope people approach you. You leave the event after an hour or two. You know you've been networking because you have a fistful of cards, hopefully not all yours, and your cheeks hurt. But the actual impact or effect of that evening, typically, none. What's the point? It's a lot like busy work, isn't it? People are meeting, but no connections are actually being made. Then there are the events where you have no choice but to succeed, connect, and go deeper. They have structured activities and discussion. Icebreaker games, I know, groan. We all hate them, but we all benefit from them. And structured time to actually get to know one another. You get a bit more of a feel for who the other person is, why they're in business, some interests they have in common with you maybe. In a really good event, you also find out their ideal client, their goals, and even their hopes. You get a chance to help each other. The host of the event has put real thought into making the event valuable. Would you like to host an event like this? I'd love to talk to you about being a facilitator for your next mixer. Anyway, how can you make that happen for yourself at an event where this isn't as structured? Even those events like the first one. It starts with a killer elevator pitch, a 30-second introduction that makes someone ask you questions, ask you to go deeper. We sometimes make the mistake of cramming everything into our message, and instead of eyes lighting up, we see eyes glazing over. Your elevator pitch needs to get to the point. It needs to share why you do what you do and the transformation that creates for your client. I'm going to repeat that. It needs to share why you do what you do, not just what you do, and the transformation that creates for your client. When you do this right, the next question asked is, how do you do that? So what could this sound like? Hi, I'm Cher. I'm Jane. Hi, Jane. Tell me about your business. Well, Cher, I have a blog and I sell stuff on it. That wasn't a good example. What do you do? Well, Jane, I help brilliant women like you, entrepreneurs and other leaders, clear away the baggage and roadblocks so that you're energized and motivated to live your purpose with impact while building resilience, joy, and community. At that point, I usually hear these beautiful words, how do you do that? If I don't, I might add, my ideal client has been in business or leadership for 3 or more years, and she's struggling. She's successful, connected, making things happen, but there's something about her energy, her eyes, that show me that she's running down and burning out. The joy is not really there. Notice how that's different from another way I could introduce myself. I could just say, I'm a business coach who uses hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming, communication coaching, and goal engineering to make it easier for clients to achieve their goals. It's very specific. It's something you can grab onto, but until I've actually got your interest, it's a lot of information shoved into one short sentence that will cause those eyes to glaze over. When you cram in the why, how, and what in one sentence, or 2 or 3, you shut down the conversation. It's not that you're boring or that your business offerings are not valuable. It's that your infomercial aims for efficiency instead of depth. Aha, now you're getting it. We don't want to be efficient when we build a relationship. We actually want to build a relationship. You want to know what Jane should have said? Good, because I'm going to tell you. Hi, Cher. I inspire women to live their lives as an adventure, and I equip them with tools to remember to stay fired up every day. How do you do that? So why do we tend to introduce ourselves the other way? There are so many excuses. It feels braggy. I want to fit in all the details, or I may never get a chance to say them. Not how to build a relationship. I don't want to waste their time. And I don't want to hog the conversation. All of those are excuses, and you may have heard yourself saying them inside your own head. But the truth, to point number 1, braggy? Okay, stop it. You don't sound braggy, you sound passionate. To the other 3 points, networking is about relationship development. This is not the only time you're going to be in conversation with your new associate, right? Unless you treat it that way. When you cram everything in, it's as though you plan to never talk to them again. Ever. How does that build a relationship? Your goal is to share enough with each other that you know how to help that other person. You should be making notes on their card or a sticky note. Carry some sticky notes with your business cards. That's a great tip from Deborah Foster Staley from BNI. And not on your cell phone. We don't want to take notes on our cell phone because the other person isn't necessarily aware what you're doing, and they might think you're texting. So, who do you want to introduce them to is one of the notes that you want to take. What group do you want to invite them to? Is there an article or a book that you want to email them about? When are you getting together for coffee? That's the ultimate note. And I don't suggest you wait till later to make those notes because you may think, wow, what an amazing connection. I'll never forget to send them that article. Well, you're going to meet a few more amazing people at this event, right? And you're also going to go a little deeper with each of them, right? So make the notes so that when you get home or the next morning before you start work, you can follow through on all those promises you made. So what does effective networking look like? First, meet and exchange elevator pitches. Second, drill deeper. Third, find out what they need. Fourth, make notes. Fifth, follow up for real and fill their need. Sixth, book a coffee together. 7, Explore during that coffee date how you can support each other more. And if coffee doesn't work, Zoom is always an option. Because that is the point. Now there's a worksheet below this video, or near this video. I haven't decided how to lay the page out yet. Fill out the worksheet and then use the templates to build out your own exciting, new, and enticing elevator pitch. And buy some sticky notes.